The federal government says it is determined to significantly transform Nigerian business environment and the promotion of made-in-Nigeria goods as Nigerian army finally dominates Falgore Forest after flushing out criminals. Plus, 2017 African Digital Television Development Seminar opens in China. These and more on Panorama. I am Olajide Bello. The presidency says the Buhari administration will drive the new executive orders signed last week vigorously in line with its determination to significantly transform the business environment in the country. A statement by spokesperson to the acting president, Laolu Akonde, indicates that as part of measures to drive the reforms intended in the executive orders, an interactive event will hold in Abuja where the acting president will be discussing the subject matter promoting made-in-Nigeria products with a cross-section of middle-level senior public and civil servants, while noting that the interactive forum will be opened for live coverage by a number of TV stations and live streaming. Akonde added that ensuring the effective implementation of the orders is critical for the overall prosperity of Nigerians and Nigeria. The statement adds that as part of activities commemorating the second year of the Buhari administration, a presidential-level report card event on the social investment programs of the Buhari presidency will be held at Aso Rock on May 29th. For about 3 years, parents and relatives of about 300 abducted female students from a government secondary school in the town of Chibok, northeast Nigeria, were in pains and agony following uncertainty of whereabouts of their daughters and wards, as an adage says, a dead child is better than a missing one. Investigation shows that some did not live to see the release of their daughters. Subsequently, parents of the rescued 82 girls could not hide their joy as they set their eyes on their children. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday was there.
For several minutes, the girls were on the dance floor in appreciation to God and the federal government who facilitated their rescue. Parents of the girls traveled about 900 kilometers, a journey of over 11 hours from Chibok to the Federal Capital Territory, where the girls are being profiled, counseled, and rehabilitated. As both the earlier rescued 21 girls and the 82, including the first escapee, Amina Ali, sighted the buses. With excitement, tears of joy, they rushed at their parents, who barely wait for the vehicle to stop before jumping out. Fathers grabbed their daughters while mothers were consoling them, with some trying to tell their stories. Some of the girls who are still undergoing medical treatment and their parents could not join in the celebration. One of them is Anatu Stephen, whose leg was amputated. She was being encouraged by a caregiver during the celebration. About 4 of the girls, who are now nursing mothers, also rejoiced alongside their mates. Some of the parents who thanked President Buhari for his determination to rescue their daughters said for 3 years they waited with high hope that this day will come, and their hope was not in vain.
It's not 3 days. It's not 3 months. Today, it has come to pass. our prayers, God has answered us.
I really thank Jesus Christ. May he see those who are still in captivity to come back as my daughter come.
There's
nothing prayers cannot do. Let's intensify our prayers. Negotiation will be concluded and the others will come.
The girls are expected to remain in the medical facility until certified by their caregivers for the next line of action, with assurance by the federal government to give them the education that was stolen from them by Boko Haram. Adebola, Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
But on to security matters, troops finally dominate the vast Falgore Forest, Kano State, after flushing out criminals. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, in the company of Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje, said these were in the forest to appraise the ongoing exercise Harabin Kunama 2. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has the details.
Falgore Forest in Kano State, with varieties of trees, stretches from Kano, Kaduna to Plateau State. Unlike the Sambisa Forest in Borno State, the Falgore Forest in Kano State is devoid of hidden mines and explosives, but it provides cover for criminal activity, particularly cattle rustlers and armed bandits. The Operation Harbin Kunama 2 is aimed at countering these criminal activities.
We had a lot of fears concerning Falgore Forest because it was really a hideout for kidnappers, cattle rustlers. So we took our complaint to Mr. President.
A visit to Falgore, an abandoned game reserve area, now Army Tactical Training Ground, showed troops strategically situated in different parts of the vast forest.
Our troops have dominated this forest, the route between Kano, Saminaka and Jos, and along the Kaduna axis. We started from southern Kaduna, and a lot of arms caches have been recovered. Ammunition have been recovered. Criminals, cattle rustlers, kidnappers, and indeed the armed robbers and other bandits have also been arrested.
Though the embedded training session that began in Kafanchan, Kaduna State a month ago comes to an end, troops are expected to remain in the vast forest.
They are here for good, and I can tell you all of our people here are sleeping with their two eyes closed. It was never this way before. My being here is like an oversight function. I'm seeing for myself what the military is doing very judiciously with the funds that we have appropriated for them.
Exercise Harbin Kunama was first held in 2016 in Ansauda Forest in Zamfara State. From the Falgore Forest in Kano State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force component of Operation Lafia Dole conducted an intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance mission in the Sambisa Forest as part of ongoing efforts to clear the area of remnants of the Boko Haram terrorist group. This is contained in a press release signed by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Olatukumbo Adesonya. The press release indicates that during the mission, a black vehicle and some Boko Haram terrorists were seen on the fringes of the Sambisa forest. Fighter aircraft were immediately called to carry out strikes on the location. However, battle assessment revealed that some of the structures and vehicles in the location were engulfed and destroyed in an inferno, while several Boko Haram terrorists within the structures under the three were possibly killed by the strikes. It will be recalled that the Nigerian Air Force, in a recent attack, frustrated attempts by Boko Haram to regroup in the Sambisa general area. The federal government has distributed relief materials to victims of armed banditry and cattle rustling in Zamfara State. The materials were formally received by the state governor, Abdulaziz Yari, from the Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Sadia Umar Farouk. Haliru Muhammad Umar reports.
It could be recalled that some parts of Zamfara State had in recent time experienced a series of armed bandit attacks and cases of cattle rustling, which resulted to destruction of many lives and property, as well as made several persons internally displaced. This prompted the federal government, through the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, to provide relief materials to the victims with a view to cushioning the effect of the unfortunate calamities. Speaking during the distribution ceremony, Zamfara State Governor Alhaji Abdulaziz Yari Abubakar expressed appreciation to the federal government for responding to the plight of the people. Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, reaffirmed the Commission's commitment to finding best solutions for individuals, families and communities displaced by conflict and other disasters. Some of the beneficiaries who spoke to NTA News expressed gratitude to the federal government for the gesture. From Gusau, Halliru Muhammad Umar, NTA News.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is establishing a training and research institute in Lafia, Nasarawa State, to enhance capacity building of its personnel in line with the anti-graft posture of the present administration. Governor Umar Tanko Almakura, while donating 50 hectares of land to the EFCC for the project, urged all Nigerians to support the ongoing war against corruption in order to sanitize the system. Joshua Ojito completes the story.
The proposed EFCC Training and Research Institute is to be sited in Kwandere, a suburb of Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital, and when established, it will enhance capacity building of EFCC personnel, as well as boost research on how to tackle the menace of corruption in the country. Presenting the certificate of occupancy to the representative of the acting chairman of EFCC, Ibrahim Magu, Governor Umaru Tanko Almakura said all compensations of land acquired have been paid by the state government. He noted that the donation of the 50 hectares of land is the state government contribution and support to the anti-graft war, while pledging more commitment to ensure the takeoff of the projects.
We do this to encourage and support the activities of EFCC in what it is doing to support the focus and mission of this administration in sanitizing this country, to ensure that it is corrupt-free, to ensure that people adhere to rules and regulations, to ensure the protection of our economy and the well-being of this country.
And this is a mark that we will never forget it. And inshallah, Lafia will be open to even international community.
In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
With representatives from about 38 African Digital TV Development Seminar has started in Beijing to discuss ways of facilitating digitization in Africa. Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, who led the Nigerian delegation, called on African ministers to find areas of advantage in their respective countries and leverage on them to develop African digital economy. Julieta Aino reports.
Still living up to expectations, 7 years in a row, the 2017 Star Times Digital TV Development Seminar attracted an even bigger crowd than that of the year before. The 7th African Digital TV Development Seminar opened at the Sunrise Kempinski Hotel in Yanchi Lake with the theme Universalize Digital TV and Enjoy Smart Life. Star Times President Pang Xingxin led the stream of speeches from Chinese government representatives and experts in the digital field. Minister of Information, Culture and Tourism Lai Mohammed focused on the digital economy with emphasis on the animation industry. He said Nigeria needs to look at areas of advantage and drive the economy from there.
Believe me, if we look at the digital economy today, in the area of film industry, in the area of animation, especially, be able to grow the contribution of the creative industry to our GDP to up about 10%. Nigeria is already the third biggest country in terms of production. I'm talking about our film industry. Now, which means we already have a rich content, we already have a platform. We only need to deepen it more.
As more speakers explored ways to facilitate cooperation and digitization of Africa with China's support, the minister said China and Africa must work together at all levels. He called on Star Times to work more closely with the relevant Nigerian authorities for a win-win outcome. The China-Africa Digital TV Development Seminar has been organized and sponsored by the Star Times Group since 2011. From Beijing, China, Julieta Aino, NTA News.
You can watch these news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Let's pause for some messages. Panorama returns shortly. Don't go away.
The struggle for independence had been a long and tough one. Our founding fathers and compatriots sacrificed their comfort and even shed their blood. We cannot at this point in history afford to spirit away their sacrifices for immediate but temporary gains of today. Let us emphasize what unites and not what divides us. Working for the unity of purpose with a stronger vision for a better tomorrow. NTA, growing with the nation.
Together, no matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Let's stop fighting each other. Let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are. Put Nigeria first.
No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
How can we develop when we're always in crisis? Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding.
No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Nigeria, the only country we can train with remarkable potentials to excel. Let us believe in ourselves and change our attitude for the sake of our country and generations unborn. Let us revive our cultural values, which are our essence as a nation. Let us renew the spirit of patriotism and hope in our dear country. Do not take or give bribe. Be punctual always. No more African time. We can't expect to be global citizens and operate on African time. Join the queue. Insist that people are attended to on a first-come basis, no matter who they are or where they come from.
Nigeria, good people, great nation.
Many thanks for being there. America seeks peace, not war, as U.S. President Donald Trump meets with 55 Arab nations and Islamic leaders in Saudi Arabia, seeking partnership in the fight against terrorism. Details of these and more with Olainka Ojo.
U.S. President Donald Trump has called on Arab leaders to do their share to fight extremism. In a speech that urged Arab nations and religious leaders to combat militant groups, Trump advocates unity among religions. The U.S. president described the fight against terrorism as a battle between good and evil, rather than a clash of civilization. Similarly, Saudi's King Salman noted that their responsibility before God, their people, and the whole world is to stand united to fight the forces of evil and extremism. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
And away from the foreign scene, the Central Council of Jamaat Nasir Islam has resolved to begin collecting taxes and levy within the emirate to assist in addressing the challenges of child destruction, poverty, and hunger among Muslim faithful. Sultan of Sokoto Muhammad Saad Abubakar III said this at this year's pre-Ramadan meeting in Kaduna. Sulaiman Abdullah Rigachikum report.
Child destitution is an age-long social menace predominantly in northern Nigeria, usually under the guise of seeking for Islamic knowledge. Vulnerable children below the ages of 10 are often visible on major streets begging for food or money, among other social needs. The disturbing trend, though many described as inimical to the image of Islam, is however not unconnected to the neglect of the downtrodden by the wealthy individuals in the society. Sultan of Sokoto, who is also the President General of the Jamaat Nasrul Islam, comments.
We all want to Islamic tradition, people around them. So what brings children to go out on the street is hunger, is poverty, is the lack of wherewithal of their parents. We sometimes don't even know where they are. How can we work very strongly to ensure these children are on the streets?
Effort of the Al-Majri integration into the mainstream of school system, which was begun some time ago, is being revisited. How we can partner with the government and that if the government will bring back these schools to us to manage, we'll be glad.
Commissioner Stakeholders Relation Shehu Balarabe represented Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai of Kaduna State at the meeting.
The evacuation of this student in Kaduna actually has become a problem because simply we got to understand that most of the students actually were brought from our neighboring states. So even that one, actually that issue is still on the process. We are going to address the situation, God willing, in very appropriate manner.
Deliberations on moon sighting, Quranic translation and other issues affecting the Muslim Ummah continues in the second day of the meeting. In Kaduna, I am Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachikun, NTA News.
The General Council of Assemblies of God Nigeria has held a national Thanksgiving service to appreciate God for his magnanimity on Nigeria and her leadership as she repositions for service to the nation. The report.
For over 3 years, the Assemblies of God Nigeria has been in court over leadership tussle, which created a rift among members of the church. Due to the recent Apex Court verdict in favor of the recognized leadership by Reverend Chidi Okorafor, members deemed it fit to celebrate the Lord's faithfulness. The celebration, which brought together the leadership of the church from across the country, as well as top government functionaries, had as its theme, God of Great Wonders. In his message, the General Superintendent, Assemblies of God, Reverend Chidi Okorafor, said the church had started seeing the end of its crisis and extended hands of fellowship to aggrieved members to come back to the mainstream so that the church can move forward.
And our declaration is that Assemblies of God Nigeria is not divided. Assemblies of God Nigeria has a good future, and we have a mandate from heaven.
In a sermon, Reverend...
Sorry about the abrupt ending of that report. Moving on, Nigeria is said to be losing billions of dollars annually for wasted mango fruits due to lack of industries to process them. From the northwestern states of Jigawa and Kebbi alone, million mango tons are produced every year but only left to rot. Muhammad Hamza Sheikh visited some of the mango farms and markets in Kebbi and Jigawa states and now reports.
Kila is an agrarian settlement 80 kilometers east of Dutse, the Jigawa state capital. It has a population of about 15,000 people whose peculiar occupation is growing mangoes. It is said that the occupation was handed down from generation to generation, and today the people in Kila are among the largest producers of mangoes in the northwest. The mango market in Kila attracts buyers not only from other states but also neighboring Niger and Chad.
No company or industries are coming to buy, but people are coming from everywhere to buy mangoes here.
Our
people came to Nigeria every Kila market there to buy mangoes, and we are benefiting from it. The business is really profitable. We thank God. The mango business is nourishing well. We carry our fruits to neighboring states and countries.
Again, in most parts of Kebbi State, the mango fruit is produced in large quantity but only sold in small markets, roadside or left road. But the people say they are making a living out of it.
Every year the mango tree grows bigger, and when it is time, it gives a lot of fruit. But if there is strong wind during its flowering, not much is harvested. It is a very lucrative business, really.
Symbolic by nature, the mango tree is a tropical tree that provides a uniquely deep and cool shade. Now, this tree also provides a very important source of vitamin C from its fruit. And the herbalist will also tell you that a mango tree is a very important source of medicine. A big mango tree gives an average of 25 baskets at harvest, and each basket is sold at about 2,000 naira or a little more. The mango business also provides employment opportunity to thousands of farmers, transporters, cart pushers, loaders, and marketers. Surprisingly, no investor, either local or foreign, has indicated interest in setting up an industry either in Jigawa or Kebbi to explore this ready-made raw material as well as tap from the abundant human resources in the two states. Muhammad Hamza Sheikh, NTA News.
And now to sports. International Paralympics Committee to make Nigeria Africa's hub for its competitions as open trials on parasport ends in Lagos, plus Nigerian Boxing Board of Control to hold biggest novelty bout to celebrate Lagos at 50. Ademola Omokivi has details on Sport Update.
The International Paralympic Committee worldwide has selected Nigeria to be the hub for its competitions in Africa. The IPC will test run the first two events, para-athletics and powerlifting, in August. 60 athletes and officials are expected to participate, while those selected at the National Open Trials will have an opportunity to showcase themselves to the world.
Being the African hub now, all our local athletes and coaches have opportunity to do all these courses.
The Wushu Kung Fu practitioners from 15 states and clubs competed in Taolu demonstration using the long stick, broadsword, longsword, Tai Chi, and the Sanshou fight for men and women in various weight categories. The Minister of Sports, represented by Dr. Shegun Akinloto, charged the Federation to hold more championships for the benefit of the athletes.
Even on a small scale, so that the athletes can be in tune.
The 4-day National Open Wushu Kung Fu competition was also used to re-examine judges and officials to upgrade themselves. The novelty boxing bouts to celebrate Lagos at 50 being put together by the Nigerian Boxing Board of Control and an entertainment outfit is tagged Rumbles Lagos. 5-time world heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield will take on Jagaban Bola Tinubu with Professor Wale Soyinka as the referee.
We come to Rumble in Lagos. Jagaban, I'm coming for you. The real deal.
Medical supplies worth $2 million will be distributed to orphanages and special schools by the world's champion.
There are programs being put together to inspire the young ones.
The first announcement was made by Professor Wale Soyinka and Evander Holyfield himself in Atlanta, March 25th, I guess. And this is because of Lagos at 50.
And the weekly OJ's Joggers Club at the National Stadium that provides opportunity for people to exercise and keep fit on Saturday made available free medical tests to all present. With Sports Update, Adeola Omokive, NTA News.
Before we go, a quick reminder that you can watch all our stories and much more when you log on to our website, www.nta.ng. But that's it on NTA News Panorama. Many thanks for being a part of it. I'm Olajide Bello. Enjoy the rest of your day.